do with a whiskey and soda now very well. If only they had such things in this place.
Perhaps Vivi's got some.
Oh, nonsense. What would a young girl like her be doing with such things? Never mind, it don't matter. I wonder how she passes her time here. I'd a good deal rather be in Vienna.
Let me take you there. It'd be ever such larks.
No, Vienna's no place for you. At least not until you're a little older. Now look here, little girl. Don't you be taking any silly ideas into your head about me. Do you hear?
Can't help it, my dear Warren. It runs in the family.
There, never you mind. Go make love to Vivi.
So I have.
What? Now see here. I won't have any young scamp tampering with my little girl. Do you hear? I won't have it.
Oh, don't be alarmed, my dear Warren. My intentions are honorable. Ever so honorable.
Well, I have never... Where have you two been? Where's Patty and Vivi?
Oh, they went up the hill. We went to the village that I wanted to drink.
Well, she ought to go off like that without letting me know first. Where are your manners, Ricky? Get your father a chair. Now, if only those two would come in for supper. No right to stay out in the dark like this.
What harm are they doing you?
Well, harm or not, I don't like it.
Better not wait for him, Warren. Pray I will stay out as long as possible with my beautiful Vivi.
Oh, I said you'd know. Come.
Frankie, once and for all, it is out of the question. Warren will tell you it's not to be thought of.
Of course not.
Is that so, Warren?
Well, Sam, I don't know. If the girl wants to get married, no good can come from keeping her unmarried.
But married to her, your daughter to mine. Only think, it's impossible.
Well, of course it's impossible. Don't be a fool, Kitty.
Why not? Isn't my daughter good enough for yours?
Surely, my dear Miss Warren, you know the reasons.
I know no reasons. If you know any, you can say them now.
You know very well I can't tell anyone the reasons.
Well, Dad, has your girl's conduct ever been influenced by your reasons?
Well, you can't marry her, and that's all about it.
What have you got to do with it?
Precisely what I was going to ask myself.
I suppose you don't want to marry the girl to someone younger than herself and with either profession or two pence to keep her on. Ask Sam if you don't believe me. How much more money are you going to give her?
Not another penny.
There, I told you.
Miss Warren, do you suppose Vivi's going to marry for money if we love one another?
Thank you. Your love's a pretty cheap commodity, my dear. If you have no means of keeping a wife, that sounds like you can't have Vivi.
And good old Cross has already expressed his opinion.
Look here, I want none of your cheek.
I'm ever so sorry to surprise you, Cross, but you took the liberty of speaking to me like a father a moment ago. One father is enough. Thank you. Miss Warren, I cannot give my Vivi up, even for your sake.
You young scamp.
And, as you no doubt intend to hold out other prospects to her, I shall lose no time in placing my case before her.
Vivi, where have you been?
On the mill?
Well, you shouldn't go off like that without letting me know first. Now, about supper. Did you hear what I said, Vivi?
Yes, Mother. How many are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need one person's help in the kitchen. Frankie.
Leave the door open, dear.
Ha! Got rid of him. Well, Vivums, what do you think of my father?
I've hardly spoken to him. He doesn't strike me as a particularly able person.
Well, you know, the old man is not altogether such a fool as he looks. You see, he was shoved into the church. I don't dislike him as much as you may think. He means well. How do you think you'll get on with him?
I don't think most of my life will be much concerned with it, or with any of that old circle of my mother's. Except perhaps Brian. What do you think of my mother?
Really and truly?
Yes, really and truly.
Well, she's ever so jolly, but she's rather caution, isn't she? And cross. Oh my eye, cross.
Oh, what a lot, Frankie. If I thought that I was like that I was a waster shifting along from one meal to another with no purpose, no character, no grit in me, I'd open an artery and bleed to death without a moment's hesitation.
Oh no, you wouldn't. Why should they take any grind when they can afford not to? I wish I had their luck. No, what I object to is their form.
Do you think your form will be any better when you're as old as Crofts if you don't work?
Oh yes, ever so much better. Bivens mustn't lecture, for little girls incorrigible.
Off with you. Bivens is not any humor for petting a little girl this evening.
How unkind.
Be serious. I'm serious.
Good, let us talk later.
You are very tiresome. You should join the others.
Her little girl will be ever so even with her Bivens for this. Why, George, why have you followed me? Is there anything wrong with you?
Oh, I mean, all I wanted was a drink.
Now see here, George. What are you up to about that girl? I've been watching your way of looking at her. Remember, I know you and what your looks mean.
Well, there's no harm in looking at her, is there?
I'd put you packed back to London pretty soon if I saw any of your nonsense. My little girl's finger is more to me than your whole body and soul. Make your mind easy. The young pup has no more chance than you have.
What made a man take an interest in a girl?
Not a man like you.
How old is she?
Never you mind how old she is.
Why do you make such a secret of it?
Because I choose.
Well, I'm not 50 yet, and my property is as good as
Yes,
ever.
because you are as stingy as you are vicious.
She's... Look here, Kitty. You are a sensible woman. You need put on any moral airs. You can name any figure you like in reason.
So it's come to that with you, George. With all the other worn out old creatures.
Damn you.
Where's Sir George?
Gone out to have a pipe.
Frankie, my dear, I think it's time we best be thinking of home. Mother does not yet know that Crofts and Freya will be joining us.
And I'm afraid we're giving trouble.
Not the least in the world. My mother will be delighted to see you. Father, take Freya home at once. I'll stay here and entertain Mrs. Warren. You'll pick Crofts up in the garden. He'll be excellent company for the bullpup.
Now come with us, Frankie. Mrs. Warren has not seen Miss Vivi for a very long time.
And we have prevented them from having a moment together.
Of course. I forgot. Ever so thanks for reminding me.
You should keep her in better order, Sam. Good night.
Certainly. Good night. Come along.
Bye-bye, Kitty.
Bye-bye, Sam.
Kiss them.
No, I hate you.
Sorry. Good night, dear Mrs. Warren.
Isn't she a tease? Now that I think of it, dearie, don't you go encouraging her. I'm sure she's a regular good for nothing.
I'm afraid so. Poor Frankie. I shall have to get rid of her. But I shall feel sorry for her, though she's not worth it. That man Crofts does not seem to me to be good for my teeter, is he?
What do you know of men, my child? To talk that way of them. You'll have to make up your mind to see a good deal of Sir George Cross, as he's a friend of mine.
Why? Do you expect that we shall be much together? You and I,
Well, of course. Until you're married, you're not going back to college again.
Do you think my way of life would suit you? I doubt it.
Your way of life? What do you mean?
Has it really never occurred to you, Mother, that I have a way of life like other people?
What is this nonsense you're trying to talk? Don't be a fool, child.
That's all you have to say on the subject, is it, Mother?
Don't you keep asking me questions like that, dearie. Watch your tongue. You and your way of life would be. Your way of life will be as I please, so it will. If you think I'm going to put up with this, you are mistaken. And the sooner you find it out, the better. Do you know who you're speaking to, Miss?
No. Who are you? What are you?
You young imp.
Everybody knows my reputation, my social status in the profession that I intend to pursue. I know nothing about you. What is that way of life which you invite me to share with you and Sir George Crofts, pray?
Vivi?
you're better able to face it.
Oh, you're so hard on me. Have I no right over you as your mother?
Are you my mother?
And I did not. Vivi,
The royal relatives, my father, our family friends. You claim the rights of a mother. You call me fool and child. To speak to me as no woman in authority over me in college dare speak to me. To dictate my way of life.
Vivi, you don't know what you're talking about.
I have a right to know. And you know very well that I have that right. You can refuse to tell me if you please. But if you do, you will see the last of me tomorrow morning.
Oh, how could you be so hard on me? Vivi? You are very rough with me.
Tell me who my father was.
You don't know what you're asking. I can't tell you.
I have a right to know. Tell me, mother.
Do you think I was ever brought up like you? Able to pick and choose my own way of life? Do you think I was able to do what I wanted to do? Do you think I did what I did because I liked it? Or thought it right? Or wouldn't have rather gone off to college and been a lady if I had the chance?
Everybody has some choice, mother. People are always blaming circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, make them.
Oh, it's easy to talk, isn't it? Here, would you like to know what my circumstances were?
Yes. You had better tell me.
Do you know what your grandmother was?
No.
No, you don't. I do. She called herself a widow and had a fried fish shop down by the mint. She kept herself and 4 daughters out of it. 2 of us were sisters. That was me and Liz. We were good-looking and well-made. I suppose our father was a well-fed man. Mother pretended he was a gentleman, but I wouldn't know. The other 2 were only half-sisters. Undersized, ugly, starved-looking, hard-working, honest poor creatures. Well, they were the respectable ones. But what did they get by their respectability? I'll tell you. One of them worked in a white lead factory, 12 hours a day, on 18 shillings a week, until she died of lead poisoning. She only expected to get her hands a little paralyzed, but she died. The other was held up to us as a model, because she married a government laborer and kept his room and 3 children neat and tidy on 18 shillings a week, until he took to drink. Tell me, that was worth being respectable for, wasn't it?
Did you and your sister think so?
Liz didn't, I can tell you that. She had more spirit. The clergyman was always warning me that Lizzie'd end up jumping off the Waterloo Bridge. But I was more scared of the white lead factory than I was of the river. And so would you have been in my place. That clergyman got me a situation as a maid. Then I went to the bar at Waterloo Station, working 14 hours a day, serving drinks and washing lessons on 4 shillings a week. Well, one night when I was so tired I could hardly keep myself awake, who should come up for half a scotch but Liz, in a long fur cloak, elegant and comfortable, with a lot of sovereign in her purse.
Aunt Lizzie?
Yes, no river for Liz, thank you. You remind me of Liz a little. She was a first-rate businesswoman, never lost her head or threw away a chance. When she saw I'd grown up good-looking, she said to me across the bar, "What are you doing there, you little fool? Wearing away your health and your appearance for other people's profit." She lent me some money and gave me a start. Then I went into business with her as a partner. The House of Brussels was real high class. None of the girls were ever treated as I was treated.
Why did you choose that business? Saving money and good management will succeed in any business.
Yes, saving money. But where can a woman get the money to save in any other business? Could you? All we had was our appearance and our turn for pleasing men.
You're certainly quite justified, from the business point of view.
Yes, or any other point of view. What is any respectable girl brought up to do except catch some rich man's fancy and gain the benefit of his money by marrying him? As if a marriage ceremony could change the right or wrong of a thing. Well, the hypocrisy of the world makes me sick. Liz and I have to work and save and calculate just like other people. It's not work any woman would do for pleasure, goodness knows. Though to hear the pious people talk, you would suppose it's a bed of roses.
Still, you consider it worthwhile. It pays.
Of course it's worthwhile to a poor girl. How could you keep your self-respect instead of starvation and slavery? When what's a woman worth? What is life worth without self-respect? Don't be led astray by people who don't know the world, my girl.
Mother, you are a wonderful woman. You are stronger than all of England. And are you really and truly not one wee bit doubtful or ashamed?
Well, of course. It's only good manner to be ashamed of it. It's expected from a woman. I always thought it ought to be. That there should be better opportunities for women. I stick to that. It's wrong. But it's so. A woman must make the best of it. If the world is arranged that way for women, then no good can come from pretending it's arranged any other way. I do believe I'm getting sleepy after all.
I believe it is I will not be able to sleep now. You've gotten completely the better of me tonight, though I intended it to be the other way. Let us be good friends.
Blessings on my own dearie darling. A mother's blessing.